God of life, amidst the ceaseless tides of change that sweep away generations, your living spirit remains to comfort us and give us hope. Our life is a dance to a song we cannot hear. Its melody courses through us for a little while and then seems to cease. And where does the melody come and to where does it go? This question, like so many others in our lives, seems to be without answer. And so in moments of darkness and in times of light, we turn to you, the source of life, the answer to all of life's mysteries. God, what is a human being that you are mindful of him? What are mortals that you will take note of them? They're like a breath, our days are like a passing shadow. Like grass, we flourish in the morning and are renewed. In the evening, we fade and wither. So teach us to number our days that we can obtain a heart of wisdom. In this moment, aware of our fragile and temporal nature, we pause to reflect on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. Birth is a beginning and death is a destination. Life is a journey, a going and a growing from stage to stage. We are taught to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. There's a time to be born and a time to die, a time to be young and a time to be old, a time to be ignorant and a time to learn, a time to be foolish and a time to be wise. There's a time to be weak and a time to be strong, a time to be sick and a time to be healthy, a time to scorn and a time to forgive, a time for doubt and a time for faith, a time to forget and a time to remember. Sharing our hopes and our dreams, our joys and our sorrows, we are fellow travelers on this sacred pilgrimage. King Solomon wrote, "The woman of valor who can find her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband trusts in her and nothing will he lack. For she renders him good and not evil all the days of her life. She opens her hand to the needy and extends her hand to the poor. She is robed in strength and dignity and opens her mouth with wisdom. Her tongue is guided by kindness. She tends to the affairs of her house and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children come forward to bless her, say, many women have done superbly, but you surpass them all. Place before her the fruit of her hands. Wherever people gather, her deeds speak her praise." Friends, in times like this, moments of sorrow, moments of doubt, been sanctified for centuries. As we say together, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The late Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes once wrote, "Life is action and passion. It's expected of us that we will share in the action and passion of our time, under penalty of being judged as not having lived at all." I met Cheri a couple of years ago. It was a brief meeting. But it occurs to me that, remembering that meeting, how appropriate these words were. Because she pretty much lived by these words. Her life was characterized by passion and by action. She was a woman who discussed and advocated for issues and ideas. And she was someone who didn't just talk the talk, but she also walked the walk. As many of us know, she was born in Columbus, raised by her folks, Harold and Gertrude. Grew up in Springfield. Her family were members of the small but active Jewish community there. She graduated South High School and attended OSU for a year. And then, loyal to her family, she came back to her house, to her home, to help her family after her father had suffered a heart attack. She resumed her education at Wright State and graduated with a degree in political science. And as most of us know, she remained politically active throughout her life. She was involved in many organizations for which she worked, always with that characteristic passion and enthusiasm. I'm told Cheri met Mike through a personal pen pal ad, through the Jewish Post and Opinion. He was in the Navy. They first met on his way back from New York City. They proposed and got married on what was, I think, their third date. This March 31st, they would have been married 47 years. During their years together, they were blessed with Josh, Jesse. Mike's work took him all over the world, and Cheri always accompanied him. Unlike some spouses who might have complained, she always saw that as an adventure. And she loved learning about the different places and cultures where they lived. Cheri left us much too soon. But what she does leave us is a legacy of love, of loyalty, commitment, and certainly resilience. We hope that all of these will make her memory a blessing to everyone who loved her, respected her, and just knew her. Amen. Amen. Jesse?
Take your mask off so they can hear you.
When I got a job at Norwegian Cruise Line, America, that sells only Hawaii, we both thought my mom and I thought I would be working in the kitchens because I have a degree in baking and pastry. After a couple of weeks gone, the director of the training program that I was medical liability. And I told him I need to call my mother. When I talked to my mom, she asked to speak to him. So I handed him the phone as I sat back and watched. The look on his face was pure shock. He knew he messed with the wrong mother. After that conversation, I was asked to pack my things and leave. So after packing and 2 flights, I'm finally home. Mom knew I had a rough day, so she handed me a drink for me so I can go to sleep that night. Next morning, we sued them. My mom was a fighter for us kids, no matter what. So that reminded me of another, if you can bear with me. When I was in college, I came home and my mom asked me to her room. We sat down and my mom told me that one of the counselors called. My mother told me that I I got my Bachelor's of Science degree in food service management. She was so happy. She was crying. That was the proudest moment with my mom.
Jesse, I'm sorry, but I want to know, did you win the lawsuit?
Yes, I did. I got a better job too.
They hired her back.
Don't leave us hanging. How appropriate. We come together this afternoon sharing terrific memories like that, as well as our sorrow, as we are going to say farewell to Cheri. We come to recall the blessing of her life and to remember all that was good and true in her life, and for the precious memories like that which will endure. Eternal God, be gracious to those who mourn. Ease their burden of sorrow and bless them with your compassion. For you have promised, fear not, I am with you. I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will sustain you with my power. And we say here, Amen.
Amen.
Everyone, we're going to proceed down to the gravesite. And some of you may know it's tradition, in Jewish tradition, to participate actually in the burial. After the casket is lowered and the vault is put on, we'll have a brief committal ceremony, and then I will ask all of you who are able to shovel in some shovelfuls of earth. This is an act in Hebrew called chesed shahame, an act of authentic loving kindness. And we do this because the person for whom we're doing this for can never repay us for our kindness and our compassion. So we'll do that, and again, I'll invite all of you to do that when the time is appropriate.
So family, what we'll do now, anyone who's going to be riding in their cars, if you'd like, you're welcome to return to your cars. We'll have a little bit of a delay here where my team, they will come and they will pick her up. And at that point, they will begin transporting her out to the gravesite. The gentleman with the golf cart are going to be coming with them, so those of you that are going to be riding out with us in the golf cart, that's when you'll board.